Parshas from Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. We have the unbelievable opportunity to do the Shiur this week in Yerushalayim. Last week was from Hebron, and if Mashiach, unfortunately, Mashiach does not come by next week, then we invite everybody back to the sandwich shop, back to our regular place on Thursday night. This week's Parsha, along with being Parshas this week, Shabbos Mevarchim Elul. As unbelievable as it sounds, we're really getting close to Rosh Hashanah already. The summer has passed us by, and we're going to bench Rosh Chodesh Elul this Shabbos. So we're going to speak a little bit, a combination between the Parsha and a bit about Shabbos Mevarchim Elul. Part of this week's Parsha discusses the inyan of tzedakah. The pasuk says, and I'll read you the quote. I'll read you the pasuk: Lo sa'ametz es levavecha v'lo sikpois es yadacha me'achicha ha'evyon. Pasuk continues also, Nasayin titen loy, you should give, v'lo yeira levavecha b'sitcha loy. You shouldn't give tzedakah and feel bad about it. You shouldn't have a sour face when you give tzedakah. Ki beglal hadavar hazeh yivarechecha Hashem alekecha. If you do tzedakah in the right way, and you do the mitzvah tzedakah the way it's supposed to be, you get a bracha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Nesiv Shalom brings down the Rambam. The Rambam brings down the halacha. The Rambam Perak Yud Halacha Aleph in Hilchos Matnas Aniyim. It tells us like this: a person should be more zohir in the mitzvah of tzedakah, be more zohir in tzedakah more than any other mitzvah in the Torah. Any other mitzvahs I say, mitzvah tzedakah, you have to be more zohir in. We also know, it's brought down in many places, that the geula will ultimately come, the geula that we all wait for will ultimately come in the zchus of the mitzvah tzedakah. Tziyon b'mishpat tipader v'shaveha b'tzedakah. In other words, we're going to earn our return to this city of Yerushalayim with Mashiach. We're going to earn it how? We're going to earn it with the mitzvah of tzedakah. The Gemara in Baba Basra, Daf Tesam Ad Aleph says, Shkula mitzvahs tzedakah keneged all other mitzvahs. The mitzvah of tzedakah is, when you weigh it out, the mitzvah of tzedakah is even, outweighs all the other mitzvahs. So let's ask this, why is it that way? Why is the mitzvah of tzedakah different? Why tzedakah? Also, why do we say, dafka by tzedakah, that a person should not be a grouch when he gives tzedakah? Don't give tzedakah with a sour face. Why dafka by tzedakah? Why not by any other mitzvah? The Chinuch says, the Chinuch and mitzvah Taf Ayin Tes says that you should do tzedakah besimcha uvetuv leva. That tzedakah has to be mamish besimcha. That's the only way you could give tzedakah up the Chinuch. It should be besimcha betuv leva. And the Ramban actually counts it as a mitzvah loisaseh v'le'yira levavcha. And the Rambam says even more, that somebody who gives tzedakah with a sour face, if you give tzedakah and you don't portray an image of happiness when you give tzedakah, Zok the Rambam, you lose the entire mitzvah. The mitzvah, the schus of the mitzvah is gone. So really the Achrayim actually speak about whether it means that you totally lost the mitzvah or there's a pagam in the mitzvah. That the Achrayim speak about. But the Rambam says that if you do the mitzvah like that, you lose the entire thing. Very interesting. The Sefer Ma'arv Shemesh says a very interesting thing, that the reason we do not make a bracha on the mitzvah tzedakah is because of what we just mentioned. The reason there's no bracha is because the mitzvah tzedakah has to be with simcha, and has to be with happiness. And Zok the Sefer Ma'arv Shemesh, brought down by the Nesiv Shalom, that since most people do not do tzedakah in that way, and they don't give it b'simcha, therefore we don't make a bracha. The mitzvah has to be with simcha. And since most people don't do it that way, so there's no bracha on the mitzvah of tzedakah. So really, all of this leads us to the same question: Why is the mitzvah of tzedakah different? And with the things that we just mentioned, let's just go a little bit deeper into the essence of the mitzvah of tzedakah. What is the mitzvah of tzedakah? We know there's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, "Ten loy mishaloi, she'ata v'shelecha shaloi." You should give HaKadosh Baruch, you should give from yours, because everything that you own and you yourself belong to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A person has to know that when he gives tzedakah, he's not giving tzedakah from something which is his. You're not giving from your possessions. Rabbeinu Yoina says that when you give tzedakah, you are only a gizbar. A person has to understand that he's a treasurer. HaKadosh Baruch Hu trusts you, and for some reason HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the money, and he gave you the ability to be able to give, so you're like a treasurer. That's what it's not your money. And a person has to know that the entire mitzvah tzedakah revolves around emunah. That's what emunah is. Emunah is that you believe that it's not yours. Nothing is yours. Everything, you and everything that you own is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And everything belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's the mitzvah of emunah. Certain mitzvahs, like we said, why is the mitzvah tzedakah shekula keneged kol other mitzvahs? Because any mitzvah that is totally emunah zok nesiv shalom, a mitzvah like tzedakah, a mitzvah like Shabbos, any mitzvah which is totally emunah, that mitzvah is equal to all the other mitzvahs of the Torah. So giving away money with a heavy heart, giving away money with a sour face, is a stira to the entire mitzvah. Since the entire mitzvah of tzedakah is emunah, and emunah means that you actually believe that it doesn't belong to you, that everything belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you're giving it out. So it's not just the chisaron, it's not just the pagam in the mitzvah that you do. That's why the Rambam will hold, and that's why the other Rishonim that we brought down hold, that you lose the entire mitzvah if you give it with a sour face, because the whole mitzvah of tzedakah is emunah. The whole thing is showing that everything belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now when you give it with a sour face, you lost the whole mitzvah of tzedakah, and that's why the mitzvah of tzedakah is different than everything else. The Saba Kadisha Mislanim, the previous Slanim Rebbe, brings down a beautiful raya to this. He says, the Pasuk says, Shlomo Melech says, Im yitain ish as kol hain beisai ba'ahava, bois yavuzu lai. If a person gives all of his possessions and all his worldly things that he has, ba'ava, he gives it with love. Im yitain ish as kol hain beisai ba'ahava, bois yavuzu lai. It's still a bizoyin for him. Unbelievable. How could that possibly be? A person gives away everything that he has, and not only does he give it away, he gives it away bi'ava. He gives it away with love. Bois yavuzu loy. It's still a bizoyin for him. How could that be? How is that possible? How could it be a bizoyin for him? Zok the Friedik Slanim Rebbe, that the answer to that is, because look at the word in the pasuk, in ish tein ish as kol hain beisai. He's giving it away, but he still thinks it's Beisai. He thinks it's his. He thinks it belongs to him. If a person gives away something and you still think it's yours, you still think that it belongs to you, there's a chisaron in the munah. There's a chisaron in the whole thing. So that's not called giving it away. That's not the right way to give it away. So now we can understand what we said before, that the geula will only come with the mitzvah of tzedakah. Because when tzedakah is done in the right way, we know that Asid and Yisrael go, that the whole thing revolves around emunah. When tzedakah is done in the right way, that shows that we've accomplished, that shows that we've reached a level of emunah that now we are zoicha, we're able to be zoicha to the geula. It's brought down from the Arizal, the different serufim, different shemus havaya for each month of the year. We know now comes, we're going to bench Rosh Chodesh Elul this week, and Rosh Chodesh is going to be after the Shabbos, and the tziruf of this week's of this month is the Shem Havaya comes from this pasuk. Tzedakah tiyeh lanu ki, the end, the last letter of those 4 words. Ki nishma lasais as kol mitzvah. The avodah of Chodesh Elul is for a yid to be mevatel himself. Why tzedakah tiyeh lanu? Now we understand why that shows us, that tells us what the entire month of Elul is about. The entire month of Elul is about a yid has to be mevatel himself. And it's brought down from the Barditcheva and the Kedushas Levi. Kedushas Levi brings down that if a person is not mevatel himself during Chodesh Elul, then Yom Kippur cannot be mechaper. A person has to be mevatel himself and all his possessions. Tzedakah tiyeh lanu. That it should be like tzedakah. It should be where a person understands that nothing comes from him. And we hope in the schus of all of this, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should bring Mashiach back to the city where we're standing right now, and I'm hoping that you could see a little behind us the beautiful city of Yerushalayim. But as beautiful as it is today, as beautiful it is now, we're still lacking the Shechina here. And Taka Klal Yisrael needs a lot of Klal Yisrael needs a lot of Yeshuas. Even though we're in Eretz Yisrael, while we're here, we know that there are rockets flying all over the place, and Klal Yisrael is not safe, and they're not going to be safe until Mashiach comes. So Taka, let us be more zohir, and let us concentrate more and think more and accomplish more with this mitzvah tzedakah and this Chodesh Elul, and to understand that nothing really belongs to us, and to understand and have that emunah that everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We should taka be zoicha that the city you see behind me here should taka be have on top of that hill. There should be behind us. There should be a Beis Hamikdash very soon.